Well, welcome everybody. So officially I want to welcome everybody to the Confidence Corner, which is my weekly show. And Hailea Alexis is here, and she's so inspirational and does these beautiful, beautiful clothes with these inspirational words and phrases. But what's really amazing about her is her huge heart. And she is amazing. So I'm just excited to talk with you tonight, and tell us anything you want to share. Tell us about you and who you are. Let's start there.
I am just so excited to be here, and your words are just melt my heart. But yeah, I'm Hailea. Me and Miss Karen got to meet back a couple years ago, I guess.
Yes.
At Women's Business Conference. It was like a cool little thing, and I just loved her from the start. Like from the moment she was like, "Give me that book. Let me go get you some people's emails." And like, she was just my biggest cheerleader from the start. So anyway, so thankful to be here. Yeah, so I'm Hailea. I have a clothing line, and my mission is to just empower girls and women to be exactly who the Lord created them to be. And so we do that through, well, I hand paint inspirational words on clothes to create that confidence. Really bold. Yeah, they're really bold and really wild. And, you know, a lot of times people say, "Oh my gosh, like, you know, I'm too old for that," or "I'm too this for that," or "I'm too whatever for that." But my goal is, and mission is, to challenge you to not be too whatever for that, and to just do it, embrace it, and just be bold and be exactly who the Lord created you to be.
Yay! Okay, so I have to show some more. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh my gosh, from the very beginning.
I've got quite a collection here. Let's look at one other.
You do.
I love this bright pink one.
Oh, I love that one. Look, the back of my little thing that I'm wearing right now says that thing.
Oh, woohoo! Live for more. I love it. I love it. That's fantastic. Well, let's talk about, talk about the power of wearing the pink dress. Tell us what that represents. The neon pink. Let's be really clear.
Fun pink dress. Oh my gosh. Well, to me, it means so many different things. Like I was talking about a few moments ago, a lot of times, so at Hailea Alexis, we do a lot of vendor events sometimes, and also something called positive pop-up parties, and we can talk about those a little bit later. But at all of these events, there's a dressing room and an opportunity for people to try things on. And so the biggest thing that I've discovered at these events is that everyone always thinks that they are too something. And that there is so much power in embracing that too. Like for me, I have a really big personality. I love to talk. I've always talked a lot. And my whole life, a lot of people have said, "Oh, she's just too much," you know. It's just too much. She talks too much, or she's just too, it's always too something, you know, too bright, or too whatever it is, loud, you know. And I think that in that, we a lot of times put ourselves in this box, and we find insecurity in the things that we should be most secure in. So with Hailea Alexis, the things are really bold and really bright to challenge you to step into being that to whatever you are. You know? And so that looks like putting it on and just embracing it and going out in the world and saying, "Yeah, hey, this is who I am, you know, and I'm not ashamed, and this is how the Lord created me. I am unique. He knit me together in my mother's womb, and this is just me, you know." And whenever you can just put on that, you know, the neon pink dress, it's just a symbol of something really bright, really wild, you know, out there. And maybe you're not like a super out there person. Great, that's fine too. But whatever that thing is for you that you find a little bit of insecurity in, but that you know deep down, like, the Lord created you this way, go do it. You know, and you can step into it. When you can wear the neon pink dress, you go out and then you inspire all of these other people to wear their neon pink dress, you know?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Well, that's it's such a, what's that?
I said, that's a little bit about the neon pink dress. I don't want to rant too much.
No, you're not rambling. Come on. I love how much you are.
love
with
you.
me as much as you want to be with me. What's so fun about what you said, just the authentic, being the authentic version of yourself. And isn't it interesting how some people just either own that or we don't? And that always makes me sad when people don't just own it, because I think, what's that?
Or when you hide behind it instead of just stepping into it.
Oh, yes, that's so true. Because I think for me, I've always worn bright pink. So I think that's probably why I love all of your stuff. But I think about how years ago I had this pink fuzzy bag that I would carry around. It looked like an animal, and people would joke with me. And I had one person say, well, Karen, you can pull that off. I can't. And I'm thinking, you could.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to, you just do it.
Just do it.
So what advice do you have for women that are feeling like, oh, I want to, but I feel hesitant?
Yeah, I think the biggest piece of advice is to just do it. Do it out in public in front of people. Don't, I think the first step is, if you really see somebody carrying that pink fuzzy bag and you love it, but you don't think you can pull it off, buy the fuzzy pink bag. That's the first step. Go buy it. Go take that first step, whatever the first step looks like. But push yourself to get out there in the public, because I think that's the biggest fear that we have a lot of times is what are they going to think? You know? It's not like, maybe we could find it in ourselves to do it, and like we could put on the fuzzy bag, or we could put on the neon pink dress, and we could look in the mirror in our house and we could maybe say, oh, this is okay. But it's the going out in public. And so if you can just push yourself to actually just go do it. Just put all of your feet aside and say, hey, God, you got me, you created me, and I'm just going to go out. I think that is the biggest and most monumental step in becoming who the Lord created you to be, is just stepping into taking the leap, even when it's scary.
Oh, I love that. Even when it's scary, do it anyway. That's so powerful.
Do it anyway. Just the first step, but if first step in the public eye, I think that all the fear goes away, because you're like, wow, oh, hi, there's
you can
they commented on they want to be friends with you. That's so sweet. I forgot what I was even saying now. But yeah, in the public eye, you realize it's not so scary. No one thought anything of it.
Yeah, I think that's such a good point. What advice do you have for someone that buys the pink neon dress, or buys one of your beautiful, like you're wearing, or the pink one that I have, and they go out and somebody makes a comment that validates their concern? Like if they say you're too much, or, oh, I can't believe you wore that. I mean, it's so sad to me that anybody would say such a thing, but if they do, what would you say to help them hold on to that confidence with the choice that they made?
That's a really real thing, and we wouldn't be sitting here struggling with all of the issues in the world that we have today if people didn't say things like that, right?
I know.
So that is a really good question. I would say that you just have to hold true to that the Lord created you to be so unique. To that person, maybe you are that. Maybe you are too much. Maybe what you wore was too bright. But that's their opinion. And I think that when you can hold true to what the Lord's opinion of you is, that is the only one that truly matters. And so if you can just remind yourself, hey, but that's not who God says I am. That's who that person says that I am. But the only opinion that really matters to me is who God says I am. And I think that would be my biggest piece of advice, is just hold true to, there's so many biblical scriptures that tell you that you're worthy, that you are called, and that He has such great plans for you. And that, as Christians, a lot of times we do face adversity, and we do face mean people, and we're going to have trials and tribulations, but that's just part of life. And if we can stay true to who He says we are, that it doesn't matter as much what the world says that we are.
Yeah, well, and I think that that's such a good reminder. And I think of people that aren't Christians, for example, holding on to affirmations, really thinking about recognizing that you've got the power within you, that we don't have to look for other people's approval of us. I mean, I feel like that it is so I think that's really great advice. And so if you're a believer, pick that scripture verse that you can say again and again and have it at the ready for yourself. I know for me, it's very helpful to have one or two things that I can go, okay, this is what I'm going to say when those things happen, so that we can have it at the ready and not feel like, we're lost when those comments happen, because they can derail us, especially if it comes from someone unexpected where you think, what? I never expected that person would say that to me.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think the key that I would add is just to have those things at the ready, so that you
Absolutely
are really you go, okay, this is what I'm going to say to myself when this happens, and recognize that, like, I mean, I think about, for so many years, I let other people define me, or I looked at other people for approval, and, oh, well, I better not say that because I might rock the boat. And I'm so glad that the part of my brain, the fashion part of my brain, didn't hear that memo. Like, if you look at anything in my house, it's all bright colors. You know, we've got the pink, and anyway, and you've got all the colors behind you, which I think is so just fabulous. Well, what have you learned? I mean, first of all, let's just call this, you are a young woman with a thriving business, and there are a lot of people that would love to be where you are and are much, much older. Let's just I want to just call it for what it is. And I'm so impressed and have so much admiration for you and the hard work that you put into what you do. Can you talk about how you decided to start this business and how you were inspired?
Absolutely, yeah.
And what age? At what age?
Okay, at what age? Oh, gracious. So I think, well, I've been an entrepreneur since, honestly, I think it's just in my blood. My mom owned a business. She started it when I was 1 year old, and it was a children's clothing boutique. So I kind of grew up in that fashion industry, had a heart for it. But I would say that I gained, I don't know. There's so many different parts of the story that we could start at. But
well, because you started really young. And I think the point that you made just about being an entrepreneur has always been in your blood, because you, somewhere in your bio or somewhere I read that you started really as a little girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that my confidence journey kind of started in elementary school. I was bullied pretty severely throughout my elementary school years because I was too little.
Mm-hmm.
Is told that I had eating disorders, that I had all of these different things, mm-hmm. and that as a little girl really hurt my confidence. But I was very privileged to have a mom who restored my confidence and would tell me every day, no, you are worthy, you're beautiful, So that was, just a whole process of building my confidence and holding tight that it didn't matter what the world said about me, because like we said, God says this is who I am. Mm-hmm. So that journey looked like, but then I think I got to middle school and realized that I wasn't the only person that struggled with this, and that a lot of people did. And so that was kind of a couple years of a learning thing there. And then I would say end of middle school, life threw a lot of curveballs in right there. And then I got plugged in with this women's ministry, or it was a girls' ministry. It was for middle and high school girls, and the whole mission was to instill confidence in girls, and for us, to just go out and to be who we are. So we did service projects and whatnot, and so I really gained a lot of confidence through that. In middle school, I also started my first little business. It was a vinyl business, so I did like vinyl monograms and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
I carried that all the way through to when I was graduating high school. And to graduating high school, life threw a whole bunch of curveballs right there. Like, my whole life kind of just turned upside down. Oh. And, okay, God, like, we really have to work together here, because I don't know what to do. Like, the college that I was planning on going to isn't working out. Like, there's just, my whole life is kind of upside down right now. Everything looks very different than what I expected. So we made, and from this deal, I learned that you don't make deals with God. But I decided a different college, a different career path, a different everything. And so I got started on that. None of the deals worked out. And anyway, so we were talking about that girls ministry that I was a part of. Throughout the years, I grew and grew in leadership in that. And going into college, I had the opportunity to help direct that. And so that was great. And my dream was that we were going to take that girls ministry to be a nationwide ministry. And so I had all of this confirmation that this is what we would do. And really turns out that the confirmation was that I would be in girls ministry, not necessarily this one. And so I had actually met a lady in the Orlando airport, and she looked at me and said, you're going to be in girls ministry and you're going to create something with your hands, but it's not going to be what you're doing right now. It's not going to be called this name. And I looked, wow, and said, you're crazy. And so there's a whole lot more to that story, but we won't get into it. So fast forward, the Lord kind of started unraveling what I was doing in this specific ministry and kind of guiding me in different areas. It was the hardest thing that I ever let go of, but finally I said, okay, God, all right, we'll let it go. And 2 months later, he spoke to me at 2 o'clock in the morning and told me to paint positive pants. So that is how Hailea Alexis started. He said, oh my gosh. Pants. And so I went to the store and bought some pants. And I'd grown up whenever I was a kid in an art studio. It was a children's art studio that was right down the street from my mom's shop. It was like 3 doors down. So I spent a lot of time there. So I put that and my fashion knowledge and my love for girls ministry all together. And he had me painting positive pants, and now we're here today.
Wow. Wow. And that's incredible. I love it. And so can you talk a little bit about the evolution of the business? So like even when I pulled this out and you said, oh, that might be an older fashion or something.
Yes. So, no, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. So yes, Hailea Alexis has looked so different over the years. That's one of the first pieces. I think, I started out just doing what I knew. I was just painting with the paints that I knew. I was taking the knowledge that I currently had and doing my best with it. But I think that I have learned how to improve quality of certain things. I've learned how to better execute the publicity side of the business. And obviously fashions have evolved. I still love that sweatshirt. I make more of those all the time still, but it just makes me think back to wow, that is, just from the beginning. And so the Lord is faithful and that all of those things held up because we have much more processes of painting now.
Well, I remember, I have to say, I wish I have it over here on the couch, but I'm not going to grab it. The World Changer shirt that you made. I remember, first of all, I remember you saying, yeah, it's probably best to hand wash just to keep the paint. And I was thinking, there's no way I'm going to hand wash this stuff. So that World Changer shirt rotates in my wardrobe all the time. It's like, I wear it, it's in the wash. I wear it, it's in the wash. And so whatever that's been 2 years since we met or something, I mean, I wear that regularly. And that paint has totally sustained itself.
I'm so glad. Because I knew from growing up in the art studio which things worked, but I have just now, since doing everything, I'm like, I want to make things the best possible quality that I can make them. So I've now kind of created my whole process of mixing paints. I make each individual color by hand now by mixing all of these things together and whatnot.
Wow.
Yeah, things have definitely evolved a lot more now, but it's so fun to see technology grow and just different things, all the different moving parts grow. As you know, in your speaking and whatnot, everything just is always changing,
Right, for sure. So I'm curious well, first of all, how many, if you look at the sweatshirt like this, obviously this is very involved compared to, the shirts that I'm wearing, Make Your Mark. How much time on average does it take you to paint a piece?
So it depends on what piece
Yeah.
you're talking about. For a pair of pants, which is obviously the Hailea Alexis trademark is a paint positive pants. So pants take me anywhere from 8 to 12 hours to paint one pair.
And do you have one handy? Do you have one handy to show us?
Yeah, here, let me grab. I'm really prepared. But, yeah.
So everybody, she's got so many great styles. It continues to amaze me. And I don't know if she does custom orders, probably for the right amount of money. But show us one of these pants.
Okay. So this is one that I've just finished. These are brand new. They're silver. Can you see them, guys?
Yes. Oh my gosh, they're silver. Yeah, that's good. Come closer. That's awesome. So what does it say? Happy human.
World changer. Hey, you matter. That's right here.
So awesome.
Chase joy. Use your words to inspire. I'm sorry, the lighting is so hard.
No, it's fine. We can see it. And so 8 to 10 hours.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
So, custom orders. You were just talking about those. So we do custom orders. They're actually my favorite thing. So all of the pants actually are custom. So if you come to a Hailea Alexis show and you say, hey, I want to buy this pair of pants right here, typically the answer is you can get a custom pair. So because since God told me to paint positive pants, he also provided me with this whole process to go through in instilling confidence. So that is kind of, the custom orders are the confidence building part of the Hailea Alexis process.
Oh,
so
say more about that. I'm not sure if I understand that exactly.
Okay, yeah. So if you want to place a Hailea Alexis custom order, so available for custom order are jeans and sweatshirts. So you come to me, you say, hey, I want to order of this. I say, okay, great. So then we have a little bit conversation just about, well, I don't want to give it all away, but it's just a little inspirational conversation that we have back.
Okay, got it.
Okay. And then I come home and pray over you. So the whole time that I'm painting your piece, I'm praying over you and asking the Lord who he says you are. So,
oh my gosh.
What we've talked about, because I take thorough notes and us talking and whatnot, and I just pray and ask, hey God, just please reveal to me who you say they are. So while I'm painting, he'll just reveal different things. And so each pair of pants turns out to represent that girl and who the Lord says she is. So every pair of pants is different. And it's so cool to me to see how, our interaction is 5 to 10 minutes long, typically. Yeah. But he can work so marvelously in creating this piece that does so accurately represent this person, and that every person's different, so
yeah, that's so special. That's beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing your process.
Yes, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I feel like there's so much more that we could talk about. Is there, we probably need to wrap up, but is there, Hailea, one thing, first of all, is there anything that I haven't asked you that you want to share before we wrap?
I don't know. I think we've covered a good bit. Like you said, we could sit here and we could talk for hours and hours. There are a million things, but we've covered some bases. And I just want to thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Well, I love what you're doing. I love the confidence that you instill in people. And I love being able to walk around with your clothes because they're comfortable and they're cute. So
thank you so much. We'll have to make you a custom piece here soon.
Yes, I know we've talked about that.
Yeah.
I know it's coming.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you very much for being here. Where can people find you? Obviously, they can find you on Instagram, but is there anything else either that you're promoting or that you would like to direct people to?
So, positive pop-up parties. Can we talk about those really quick?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
Positive pop-up parties. This is our newest kind of aspect of Hailea Alexis that we're launching into. So this is for the girl that says, hey, I want to make a difference in my community, but I'm not exactly sure how. And so they partner with Hailea Alexis, and I come alongside you and kind of teach you, this is how you can make a difference in hosting an event. So we make balloons together, you and I, the host and I, and then you invite all of your people over. We just while we're making the balloons, we talk about how you can make a difference, you know, and I kind of walk you through the steps. Okay, this is how the event's going to go. This is how we're going to guide the conversation. So all of your gal pals come over, we try on clothes, we take pictures, do the fun girl things, but then we sit around a big circle and we talk about our purpose, who the Lord created us to be, how we can better be that person, and what can keep us from it. And so the host has the opportunity to sort of guide that conversation, and then it also opens the opportunity for her friends to come back to her and say, hey, there was something different about that event. What was it? My prayer is that what was different was that the love of Jesus was there and that they experienced that. So again, my prayer is just for every girl to experience that love of Jesus and know what to go and look for in relationships, what to go and just seek, and also what to present their, you know, peers with, and how to show the love of Jesus to other people. So.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing about the pop-up party. So folks, reach out to Hailea Alexis. So you got to check out all of the items that she has for sale. And again, what's that?
I said, I would love it. I would love it.
Yes, and if nothing else, she's a positive force to follow in your feed. Hopefully, though, you can give her some business because she works so hard and has such an incredible mission. But nonetheless, thanks for everybody that was here listening. And of course, we'll repurpose this on YouTube and LinkedIn. So you'll be in all the places. And Hailea, it's so great to talk with you. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I love you.